This is Frank Rauscher again. I'm doing these small vignettes, I call them Q&As, and I'm going to give you some examples of the wood burnings I've done on different pieces of wood and a variety of the wood burnings. Some are painted, some aren't, and I'm going to give you a series of them so you can see. And then I'll probably do another video after this, and then I'm going to show you the techniques I used in some cases on how to get the effects with the wood burnings, what pens to use, and the different temperature ranges you want to deal with, and just some silliness I do with wood burning pens. Okay, so bear with me, and I'm going to try to give you just a little segment of the videos that I normally on this video of the samples of wood burnings I did. So bear with me, and see you in a little bit. I wanted to show you some of the examples I did on different pieces of wood. This is the otters that I actually did carvings of in my first series on the videos I've created. This one here is a wood burning on plywood, and what I did is I textured the otters, and I burned in just basically the outlines of the rocks, and then I painted them in. But I did most of the shadowing on the otters with a burning pen. So this can be done on plywood. I think this is a birch plywood, if I'm not mistaken, and it works out pretty good. So this is one of the examples I wanted to show you. I'm going to give you a variety of them, and I'll put another one up here shortly, and bear with me, and I'm going to try to do this for a series of them. Now, this one here is another wood burning I did, and this is on basswood. It's it's basically an oval, and I use acrylic paints in all my wood burnings, and I try to keep the water in control. So I'm not putting a lot of water on my brush when I'm painting this. But this was a wood burning, excuse me. This was a wood burning I did, and I tried to control the flow of the water with the paint. And this is on basswood. It's an ideal wood for wood burning, and I would recommend basswood as a real good one for most of your wood burnings. Okay, just like the carvings, and this is another example of one I created. So bear with me, I'll get you another one. Now here is another one of a chickadee. I did this again on plywood, and I let the grain of the wood really show through. I really got a grainy portion of it, and I thought it would enhance the look of the wood burning, and I didn't need to do any background coloring or anything else. So it just looks like it's hanging like against the barn, and some of the forsythia was draped down. And again, it's a wood burning on plywood, and I used the acrylic paints here as well. So it works out really nice, and that's another way of doing this. Okay, so bear with me, and I'll show you another one. Now here's another one. It's a turkey that I did, and I tried to get most of the coloring with the wood burner, and strictly didn't paint it. This was all done just with the temperature ranges different, and lighter and darker burns. This is on a basswood slab. This is the rustic ones where you have the bark on the ends, and they're they're readily available, and they're great to work on. So this was another variety, and again, I did not decide to paint this one. A few of them in the beginning I did not paint, so I just wanted to give you that as well. So bear with me, I'll give you another one. Now here's another one. This was an oak wood, and I wouldn't recommend it, but I tried burning on almost any kind of wood at one time that could be showy. So what I wanted to show you here is you can burn on any wood, but you can see that there's different textures, and there's what do you call it? The wood itself has grains in it and pits that you can't get always a straight line, and oak tends to want to fight you. So I just want to show you what maybe not to do. It can be used, and you can see I've got some light oak streaks running through there, but it was a difficult burn only in the sense that the wood isn't smooth, and it's kind of rough. But hey, if you have it and you want to play with it, that's another wood you can attack, and you can experiment. But I predominantly like to use basswood or plywood, like a birch plywood or something like that. So just wanted to show you another one. Hang on. Here's another one I did of an eagle in flight. I actually did a carving of this, almost to scale at the time. And this was a nice project. I had experiences with this one in a sense that when I originally did it, I had a gallery who had a front window and stuck this piece into the window, and I thought, oh, that'd be great because it's getting some publicity and getting out there, showing my artwork. And what I didn't realize was that this could be even darker, but I had to reburn it again because the sun actually went in and bleached this out to about half the darkness it was. And then after I got it back, I redid it again. But things that, like wood burnings, I don't preserve the wood or anything like that. I leave it natural. The burning usually does the job for you. Even on the painting, the acrylic paint usually holds up pretty good. But keeping it in the sun, any painting, it'll bleach it out, and it will. And I've had carvings that were in their front window, as well as this wood burning. But this is a basswood in a rustic piece, and it was fun. It was fun. Bass tends to lend itself. Just trying to give you different examples and some of the pitfalls along the way too. So I'm going to show you a couple more. Hang on. This one was also on a rustic piece with the bark on the ends, basswood. And this was a bobcat. I actually had some wood burning classes that I did using this as an example, and I'll try to show you that on either this video or the next one when I follow up on the display of the different burnings I did, and show you how to do some of this. And this could be burnt darker, but I just stopped at this point. But you can intensify this, but where the shadows are, you can really make them pop. And this is like an initial burn, but I liked it where it was at the time, and you could go beyond that afterwards. So Just wanted to show you as another example, and again on basswood. So I really enjoyed the basswood. Tends to work out very nice. Now this was just a flat piece of basswood I had. Probably had the bark on the end, and maybe there was a split in it, so I reconfigured it into this oval, and I created this scene, and didn't decide to paint it. It was just something I, at the time, liked to just do some wood burning and not do any enhancements beyond that. And this was, again, all wood burned, so you can really get into it with the wood burning and do all kinds of detail work. Some of the shadowing, I will demonstrate that as we go here. So these are just samples of things. Bear with me and I'll show you another one. This is another one of my relief carvings that I added to a piece of driftwood. I'm going to move in on it so that you can see the wood burning and everything else. And I blended it onto the driftwood, and it gave a real nice look to it. And if you've seen it on the one before it, this was the same cat that I did on a flat without any color. It was just a wood burning. This here is actually a relief and a wood burning, and then I painted it like I would a lot of carvings I do. So just wanted to show you that, and I have a couple more for you too. Here's another one I did. This is a squirrel, and I did this on a basswood slab. It's an oval, and this, like I said, most of my wood burnings are on basswood, but you can use other woods as well. This I painted, and I'm gonna show you another one I did in a sequential one I do, and I'll show you that too. And I did that as a commission piece, and I'll show you that as well. So bear with me. Now this is another one I did as well, and the deer itself was wood burned. And what I did is I basically outlined most of the flowers, and I wood burned the bird to get some texture in it and so on. And I'll move it in a little closer. I don't know if you can see all of that on this, but just giving you some ballpark idea. Again, this is a basswood oval. I had a bunch of them, and I worked it on that. So this came out pretty good too as well. Now this is something different. You hear me a lot saying, oh, don't mess with pine and this and that, and you got to be careful because it has tars in it. And I had some bases that I got from a hobby shop, and decided to mess around with it. So what I did here was I think it was Laura Irish had this in one of her pattern books. So what I did is I copied that over, and then as I looked at it, I figured, well, I'm going to relieve it. So this is a two-dimensional relief, and what I tried to do is go in and relieve it, and then went in and I burned it. And when you're relieving, the burning also acts like a stop, so that could be helpful to you to outline things. And when you're coming in with your chisels to relieve the piece, it could act like a stop if you can work with it. It's almost like you driving a knife along the edge. If you ever done any two-dimensional burning pens can be real helpful in that respect. So this is one I was trying to show, like a underwater scene, and at the same time the bear was going for the fish, and that was sort of lifted, and it was fun. Again, it's a pine, and I did it on pine, and I wood burned it, and then I also painted it with the acrylic paint. So just trying to give you different ideas. I've done poplar also, and there are other woods, light woods. You just got to experiment with them. But if you're looking where you can, if you can't get basswood readily or something like that, you can also get that plywood I was talking about before that I showed you on other burnings, wood burnings. That you can get like birch or something like that that is sanded on one side, and that's what you want to grab, and that works out great as far as wood burning goes. And you can do some real nice stuff, and you can go to local hardware store or something like that and get a sheet of it. You can, I know, like Home Depot, instead of buying a 4x8 sheet, you don't need that much. You can get like a 2x4 size, 2 feet by 4 feet size plywood, and then go from there. So just trying to give you some examples of things I've done along the way, and I will get into the demonstration of this. I'm trying to see how much time I'm using up for all the examples, and I may do this in the other video. And I hope you've gotten, you can appreciate the artwork, and also I will give you the techniques, and I probably will do it on the next Q&A. This is going to be like a Q&A on wood burning, and I'm trying to do a couple of these before I get into my next bird. Okay, so bear with me. I hope you enjoyed what you saw, and I will be following up with the techniques on how to do all this, as well as, you've seen some of it demonstrated when I did the birds, and I will be doing that again, and maybe on the flat work, so that you can see how I approach some of this. So hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, and if you could subscribe to my channel, I would greatly appreciate it, and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you.